Think about a ladder. We've said the ladder is used for what? Climbing, right? So when you're climbing, that is what you call upskilling, right? You're on your career, but you're now adding more skills that you think will help you manage your career. Now think about another ladder. You're moving from this ladder to another, starting afresh. That is reskilling. And the main reason for reskilling is for when you're thinking of changing your career, right? I was giving an example for my friend here, Katiba. Katiba is a lawyer, but I don't know why and how she thought of coming to HR. So she had to look for those skills that will help her navigate the HR issues. So she had to go back to school, right? She had to acquire more skills that will help her perform or position herself well as a HR person. So that is my opinion. Sorry, Grace, that's how you were taught as a doctor.
So that's it, okay? So that's okay. Esther, you can go ahead.
Good afternoon. Now, my brand it goes by my name, like Jay. I am the CEO and founder of Conversations with Esther. We are HR consultants and employee wellness champions. So we champion holistic wellness in the workplace. We are mental health champions. So I think Dr. Yusuf made that statement. I think it's a good representation of reskilling. And he asked, I don't know how you moved into HR. I worked as a HR assistant, and I saw a gap in how HR issues were handled, and there was the need to keep hiring HR and legal in organizations. And I decided to package myself in one and take home 2 salaries. That was it. And I have of late transitioned into mental health in the workplace. I'm actually in school. I am doing mental health coaching for the workplace to get the certification very soon. So that's it. Thank you. That's reskilling. And reskilling, as Dr. said here, has to do with change of career. And sometimes it's driven by technology, changes in the industry, obsolescence of roles that you would need to quickly shift. But upskilling, as he says, I like his analogy is a ladder. It's polishing yourself up, or an organization investing in you in training to take you up the ladder. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's appreciate Esther.
Good afternoon. So my name is Mary. By profession, I'm a mechanical engineer. Just to make it clear, I registered with EDK and IEK. That's why I use those initials for my name. I'm a manager, the research and development manager at Hako Industries. Hako Industries, we do so many products. One of them is Amara. You have seen Amara in the shelves. So I'm the brain behind those products. So I'm the one who formulates. I would want to echo what my colleagues have said about upskilling and reskilling. In the aspect of, I would just add one slight thing: how do we face the new things in our fields? Not only in our job places, but also in life. How do we deal with emerging dynamics? How do we deal with emerging things that were not there? We will require to reskill, and that means we acquire new skills, new knowledge within our domains. or even to upskill, going back to school to get a master's, to get that PhD, or even going back to school to get that computer skill, going back to school to understand your well-being as a person so that you can interact with other people. How do we deal with those emerging dynamics in life?
All right. Appreciate engineer. So hiyo mafuta tunaweza pata
Jay, next time.
All right. So Esther, you have moved careers, you have been in the industry, you're still building yourself up. So what are some of the significant changes you've observed in the skills landscape over the past 3 years?
I believe I'm speaking to a bigger percentage of human resource professionals, right? So technology is something we can't escape, and I know we resist change sometimes. It's just like the emails. When the emails came, we were stuck on PO box, and we wanted that handwritten one, and time has come that I think, except from the legal perspective where we insist that you need to post a document, but we have also changed and accepted emails, and we are moving to accepting WhatsApp. You see, technology pushes you into that, and I think it's important for us to have the digital skills. I recently attended a training with JICA and KA, Kenya Association of Manufacturers, and they were talking about, we're discussing about IoT, Internet of Things. I know maybe someone in manufacturing could have had that now. She's just here actually. The technology for helmets, where you have a sensor inside the helmet that would tell you about the employee and maybe their health, and some sensors that an employee will wear, you can tell if they are at risk or not. So the landscape is changing, and for me, and I think I'll use my example, is I run with open opportunities. I am that person that will run with it. I am still in legal, and I do a lot of legal. I do HR, but I have transitioned into mental health because I am beginning to see the need for technology in managing employee wellness. So hopefully early next year, Grace, we will be launching an e-platform for mental health. It's actually underway. It was meant to be launched by the end of this year, where you don't need to leave your office to speak to a psychologist. Your employees will speak to psychologists from the comfort of their homes. Their children will be covered. The family members will all be covered. So bringing in technology into the workplace and taking care of your employees, understanding what they feel, because sometimes it's also difficult for you to go for counseling and to go see a psychologist. There's a stigma still behind that. You know, when you say, I'm going to see a psychologist, unaanza kusema huyu na yeye ameona huyu psychologist mara mingi. But you see, if I sit in my bedroom and I see a psychologist and walk out of that house, or in the office as I walk around with my earphones and everything, I'm still going through my counseling. So that's what we're bringing in. And it's bringing in technology into managing people, into speaking to their needs and getting the employees engaged. So for me, basically, it's that, and we need to keep an eye on the best practice. HR professionals, I think we need to keep an eye consistently on the legal side of things. I want to appreciate someone here, and I know he's sitting right here, from Jay, because he's one guy that posts legal issues around the workplace. I actually pick a lot of your KL ads from new, and it's important that we open our eyes to what's happening legally, the emerging issues. There's a lot of things changing overnight, especially for HR professionals. You wake up and there's a law. You wake up and something has changed. You wake up and technology has shifted, you know? So that shift, Grace, for me, is really what we need to have. We need to stop being rigid on the manual managing of people. You know, let's be flexible and let's move with speed. I insist, let's move with speed in issues of technology. I don't see Mercy Macau here, but AI is very important in HR. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that insight, Esther. We are coming to you in a bit, so have your questions ready. We'll be opening the floor for questions in a bit. But before we do that, engineer, going from what Esther has discussed, and I know a lot of people here have been wondering, so I am an HR, I am an engineer, I'm an accountant. How do we balance the need to specialize versus the need to develop transferable skills across sectors?
I would start by saying the need to balance, you'll say the need to balance specializing or specialization with multi-skilling, I would summarize it like that, is the mindset. In today's landscape and the dynamics of workplace, I would say specialization is no longer a key thing, and I would say do not specialize a lot or do not focus on specializing. And if you feel the pressure to specialize, it is a mindset. Right now, I'm a manager, I'm an engineer, but I got interested in people management because I have a team that look unto me, I have a team that I lead, and if I don't understand how to maneuver or how to manage these people, not only on task-oriented things, but how to build a team, how to transfer skills to a team, then I would fail as a leader. Right now, the call in the workspace is a call to go beyond a domain expertise. You have to be able to understand how to maneuver with the dynamics in finance, yet you are a HR person. You have to understand how to maneuver with the dynamics of procurement, yet you are a HR person. When you are hiring a market person, you have to understand what the marketers do in the field for you to be able to hire the right person. It's okay to have a domain expertise, but you need to multitask. You need to bring other skills for you to deliver effectively in that domain.
All right. Have you had? What have you had? Wamesema nini? Wamesema nini? We need to move with speed. We need to understand the need. Oh, is the pressure increases or decreases?
Maybe you can summarize in few words what I have said. Be a 360 person. Be a 360 person for you to be able to be effective. Otherwise, you will have responsibilities and people will feel you're failing, not because you're failing, but because you're not able to measure the right things that a marketer should deliver. You're not able to measure the right things that a procurement person should measure.
All right, and you forgot the most important one, mindset. Yes, that is key, mindset. So, are we together now? Yes. Okay. Hey, what people have taken notes now? Learning has started, I am happy. So, Yusuf, I think 2-3 years ago, I was called upon to chair a finance committee for an organization that deals in billions. And the first time reading those billions, I could not pronounce all of them at once because of the shock. You know, like there are people who are actually making this much money. And here I am thinking I'm an HR. You know, I was so comfortable leading HR. Then on top of that, I'm also made a trustee and to chair the board of trustees. So I'm over here thinking, okay, writing letters, check. What else does HR do? Ni nini ingine mnafanyanga hapo view HR? Payroll, check. Onboarding, Sakayo umesema gani? Including walking around with a bottle of yes, so that is a story for another day. But so, Yusuf, what are some of the skills that are currently on high demand, and how can young professionals best position themselves to acquire them?
Thank you so much, Grace. What I've realized over the last 10 years is that the business is changing. And if you ask the engineer here, she'll tell you the product that was used to be the best, doing best in the market, not even 3 years ago, but 2 years ago, is no longer the best. So it means things are changing at a very high speed. And what now needs to happen is that we have to prepare ourselves. And how do we prepare ourselves? By being aware of what is happening around, not just your workplace, your sector, but around the world. So one of the things that the trend that we're seeing is multi-skilling. Multi-skilling is coming up, and I know there's this school of thought about specialization and the value it brings. If you go to the US or the UK, the conversation there is, in fact, for them, they don't like people who are all over. I struggled with my title, my dissertation title, because of that. They say you have to focus on one thing with best. But now the reality, things on the ground, unasema vitu kwa ground. Vitu kwa ground ni tofauti. I mean, you can't sit there and you say, I'm a HR. You know, when people are thinking about the strategic plan, you say, me, I'm only concerned with the establishment bit and the organogram. No. So, we see multi-skilling, right? We also see the issue of well-being or wellness at workplace. This is a very, in fact, this came about as a result of COVID, that we've seen employers or organizations investing massively in matters well-being. So as HR, you have to look and think about yourself. Where are you placed? Or not even HR. Even, I know we have different people here. The finance guy, how do you fit in? The IT, the Chiromo, for instance, Chiromo saw it. I think 3 years ago when we were in Mombasa in one of those conferences, they held this wellness calendar where you just scan. Employee can come scan, answer questions, and then you get the data as HR, and it analyzes for you. So, gone is the time when you have to sit down with people to try to understand it. So, technology has come in, as Katiba has mentioned. But again, as HR, how do you now come in matters of technology? We know AI, workplace generated, which brings a lot of issues. As HR, some years back, I trained as a HR information system administrator. I know how to design the HR system. As HR now, how do you plug in? And remember, we've talked about the upskilling and reskilling, saying that you look at those gaps, the existing gaps. There are those that can be predicted. The advantage for HR people is that whenever there's change coming, you're the first person to hear. For those guys who are working for government like myself, we have a new guidelines for HR in public service, and they have come up their recommendations for areas that are done away with, and then there are areas that are given now prominence in the current guidelines. So for me, again, I say you have to be alert on what is happening, so that you can add value. Of course, there's So you have to be alert of what is happening. You've seen the Agadi thing. It's all right. So tell me, how will you be seen if you are working with this couple? I'm not saying you should not go work for them, but you have to be aware with what is happening so that you position yourself. Thank you.
All right. And as you were speaking, I was just thinking, we have finance people in this room. Finance, can you run the HR department if it was left to you? And HR, can you run the finance department? ICT, can you sit in an interview table and give opinions? What would you be saying? You're called upon, you're in IT, and you're called upon to interview a manager who is not in IT. Value yako itakuwa inasema I agree. And how much do you want? All right. So we've talked about how you can upgrade yourself, how you can be alert, how you can change your mindset, how you can act with speed. But the reality of the matter is we don't have time. Faith here works from 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and she works in Thika. Okay, not in Thika really, somewhere in between Thika and another place. Someone else here works very odd hours and they are not able to upgrade. So Esther, how can we navigate the barriers for upskilling and reskilling, especially things to do with time and financial resources when pursuing skills development?
I like that question, especially with time and money. I think you need to realize first that time and money are a great resource. They're expensive, and as I was growing up, someone told me that there are 3 things that you can never get back. Number 1 is an arrow thrown. Number 2, an opportunity lost. And number 3, a word once spoken. Now, if you lose an opportunity to improve yourself, and I like what Dr. and engineer said about understanding the business. Now, with your money and time, prioritize training and courses and certifications that push you up the ladder or push you out of the organization into a better place. I personally did Lean Six Sigma white belt because I was working in manufacturing. I have a diploma in sales and marketing, first class, because I love sales and marketing, but I couldn't defend my love for sales and marketing na mdomo. You defend it with a paper. Fortunately or unfortunately, the Kenyan landscape appreciates a lot of papers. So even if you come and say, I've done this for 20 years, I'll still ask you for something to show that you can do it. So when it comes to time, I tell young people especially, reduce your time on social media, on TikTok, and get some certification. The amount of time you use on social media is enough for you to graduate. The amount of time you spend on the queue waiting for a matatu, and your colleague goes to a class and finds you still on the queue. At the end of the year, or at the end of 3 years, they will graduate, you will graduate waiting on the queue. So it is in your hands. Decide what you want to do with your time. When it comes to money, I think it's important for you. My mentor said, if I can't take care of my shilling, I can't take care of $1 million. So if you cannot take care of the shilling you have in your hands, even when you're given $1 million, you won't take care of it. Sometimes we want to complain, I can't even study, sina pesa. And then unaingia Java kama J, unachapa 3,000. That's a deposit in school. It's your priorities. If you prioritize your personal growth, it's for some time I had Daktari and Eve discussed there, and they said they have to stay away for some time and study and deny themselves. Now it is you to make use of that. And I am aware that sometimes we don't have the money. We could have the time, but no money. There's that age where you have the money, but you don't have the energy. If you're in business, I think you can always look for someone who has the money, they don't have the energy. And partner with them. So just understand that money and time are a great resource. What you do with the two will determine your upskilling, because that's our topic, and your reskilling. Thank you.
Chris, I would like to just add something small onto what Esther has said. And I would want us to look at our mindset, and opportunities are always presented there. As you work on your finances, there are opportunities within your area of work. For example, if you want to grow from one position to another, one way of learning and gaining the skills is volunteering to solve problems within where you're aiming to go. If you want to be a CEO, can you start solving problems as a CEO? Looking at things like a CEO, be there in those board meetings, offer solutions like that CEO for you to offer yourself opportunities to learn within the sector which you are in. And these are the opportunities that are there, but because we are lazy or because I want to be paid for what I'm doing, then we don't volunteer all them, and that limits our growth and our learning. So even within our own sectors or within our own areas of work, solve the problems that you see and look at these problems as opportunities for you to grow and gain skills.
I think if you allow me to add on that, how do you balance? You see, the issue of balancing is a personal decision. You have to decide what you want. Nobody will decide for you. Because you see, we have a tendency of people doing things because I've seen Grace doing it, I've seen Jay doing it, so I also want to do it. But you've not sat down and think about this thing and decide this is what I want. I'm not embarrassed. Most of my friends, and Grace is here trying to embarrass me. I decided that I'm blocking all my friends this year until I graduate, I get my doctorate. Yes, I did it. For those people who know me, I will not miss any event. But you can count the number of events I've attended with it. And I don't have any regret. Why? Because I thought about it last year, and I said, I know the story around consolation that people get when they start their doctorate journey is that these things take long. That people even spend 10 years. Mine I did for 4 years. Yeah, and if it was not for COVID, I think I would have graduated last year. So it is you to decide. Choose what you want. These friends are here. Akina Jay, Grace, there's nothing Grace will do. Whether she likes it or not, if I want her now to talk to her or again, I will. And I told them that please, you not see me anytime soon until October. That's what I said. Jay, you remember? And I took my wife, I graduated. So the issue of balancing starts with you. Decide what you want. And also find a good mentor and a coach who will push you. You know, there's this thing people brag around, my mentor, my coach, but there's nothing you're doing with this coach or mentor. Having a contact with Grace or Katiba, talking to her every day, attending her session, that's not mentorship. That's not being coached. No. There are things you have to say, 2, 3 things you want to achieve. Talk to your mentor or your coach. Do you know, to surprise you, I met my mentor to start his PhD in UK. I challenged him. And he told me, Carlos, he told me, Yusuf, also want that PhD. So now I'm the one coaching and mentoring. Because you see, the doctoral journey is not like this. You have to have someone who has done it so that he can walk with you the journey. I'm telling you, I didn't have sleep for, I think, for the last 6 months. There's a time I would wake up and just fall down. Yes, I didn't have balance. But you see, something must kill a man. So, the many parties, the many events that people go to, you have to deny yourself for you to achieve it. Your employer will only do it, if you are lucky, your employer will support you. And most of them will not. Let me just fact. Even the supervisors. We have horrible stories about supervisors trying to disrupt people in class. We've seen it. You're given, they know very well this is the exam period, you're given more assignments. And even sometimes out of town assignments. So back to your question, Grace, and this applies to everyone. You have to sacrifice. You have to make that decision that this is what I want. Then the rest, you just find the support. Like me, I was not worried about the people I was used to, the friends, but I was worried about what I've started. Because I was like, will I be, you know, there are those people continuing. You've seen it every time. You've seen the CVs, MBA continuing. Yeah? Master continuing. So you ask, continue till when? Pick one thing, run with it, finish. Go to another one. That way you will not have any stress. Because you see, most of the time you say, oh, it's a toxic place. It's not toxic. It's you who is toxic. Take the grace.
Yeah, I mean, he says it requires sacrifice. I think that is the bottom line. Something has to give.